Hello everyone, my name is Webweaver, and welcome to more of an interesting video than we normally do, and by that I mean a different kind of video. So this is... I'm actually doing a commentary here. This is a pre-recorded run that I did yesterday. And the reason why I'm doing this, and I do apologize for the audio quality in general, but the reason why I'm doing this is courtesy of FedEx for saying that my package, which is my audio equipment shipping from home, was going to be here 8 days ago. And so, here's the thing. Laptops are loud. Now, running World of Horror, the laptop can handle it just fine on silent, but when you're running, like, some pretty beefy recording settings, or just running OBS in general, really, the fans need to spin up to keep the laptop cool because it's pretty, like, yeah, you know, it's pretty resource hungry. And so, you know, when I'm recording, the fans are whirring, like, really loudly, and so I cannot do an audio commentary or recording. So, right now, you know, we're just running through... Since it's the laptop, you know, we gotta do the achievements again. I uninstalled World of Horror and reinstalled it on the laptop, which, as you may know, no cloud saves, so we have to do all the achievements again, which is no big deal at all. No big deal at all. So we're just doing a regular old ICO run on Harbinger of Doom right now. Right now I'm looking between the mysteries, trying to decide which one to do first. I normally go off of, like, by reading the ending names, so that's why I had to do, like, a little double take there, to decide, what mystery I was gonna do. But, you know, starting with Coma, nothing wrong with that. It's a pretty good mystery to start with. Now, I did make a obvious mistake, which is, we don't have the Witch's Tree yet. And so what that means is that we can't get money from the Witch's Tree, so we can't get our normal 1 fund plus 2 curse start, which will let us buy something. So what I did there is I bought the discount item, because that's still 1 fund, even though we're on Harbinger. And basically what I decided to do was just buy a random item, and then keep going until we got Jar of Blood, or Jar of Fondest Memories, or, you know, whatever we're feeling at the time. And because of that, I went to the police station just now to, essentially lower my chances of getting combat so that we could increase our chances at getting, the Jar of Blood event. Because, you know, we don't want combat until we can get a weapon. Branded like cattle, that always sucks, but, I'm gonna use this more as sort of like just a soapbox opportunity. Well, technically I'm sitting on a chair right now, and I'm trying my best not to move because I have no idea if every little movement is being detected on the microphone. If it's unbearable, you probably won't see this, but if you're listening to this right now, then hey, it's probably not that bad. But this is a test for a couple of reasons, because, well, the backlog is still going on for a few more days, and so I don't have to record another episode immediately and then get it uploaded. The reason why I'm doing this is because over where I'm staying, this area has absolutely terrible internet. And that's really, like, I mean, it really is just, it's not even an over-exaggeration. We're getting our expected speeds, or sorry, not our expected speeds. Our expected speed is 35 megabits down and like 11 megabits up, which is perfectly fine. In fact, it's better than a lot of internet in the States. However, that's not how it works over here. So there's the expected speed in the UK, and then there is the guaranteed speed. Now, the guaranteed speed is what you're legally going to get, because if you don't get your guaranteed speed, then you're allowed to cancel your contract and get a full refund. And so, the guaranteed speed is 10 megabits down and 0.4 megabits, or 0.51 kilobits. It's like 0.4 megabits up, which, you know, considering that I'm having to upload this video to youtube.com, is rather frightening. Now, if these were stable and consistent speeds, it would be workable, and I could plan around it. However, these speeds are not workable, and they aren't consistent, because what ends up happening is the company actually throttles you if you use the internet too long or you use too much data. So how I'm actually having to get around this is I'm having to use a VPN, literally, because if I don't, I go for like 30 minutes, an hour, depending on my internet usage, and then the internet just gets cut off, just plainly. And the thing is, it's reproducible, right? Like, it's not something that just randomly happens and it's like, oh, you know, it happened, so this has to be the reason why. No, it's something that I've actually tested multiple times over my almost 2 weeks of being here. I have tested it. I haven't specifically timed it, but, you know, I've been looking at the time, and it's like, oh, you know, it's 4 p.m., use the internet for 30 minutes as sort of like a power user, and by that I mean just watching YouTube videos. And then 30 minutes later, it's just like everybody gets disconnected from the internet, or it's like, okay, you know, I'm just browsing the internet casually, you know, going on a little bit of Twitter, maybe going on a game that has online functions, and then it's like, oh, after an hour, the internet's cut off for everybody. So, yeah, it's something that I've been seeing, and it's something that I've been like, you know, maybe Starlink isn't that bad of an idea. If only it wasn't 90 pounds a month. If only, right? Like, it actually seems like the perfect solution for the internet troubles, though, because it's like 50 down, 50 up, something like that. And that sounds terrible for, like, what would be over $100 USD a month. But when you consider the fact that the reason why the internet here is kind of bad is just because there's no infrastructure at all. And so what they have is, like, you know, I was looking to see if I could get an upgrade for this place. And, you know, I'm only going to be here for, like, 3 months, so it's not a... If I was going to be here permanently, I actually would spring for a Starlink. However, because they take from 2 weeks to 6 months to ship, that's not going to be a workable thing. Not at all. But, you know, since this is just more of a temporary thing, I was looking like, hey, you know, you're getting scammed by your internet. Let's see if we could get you an internet upgrade. And the people that I'm staying with, they were open to that idea because, you know, they know their internet sucks. They use it too. However, we found an upgrade, which was 65 megabits down. However, and it was like 30 megabits up, which is fantastic. However, the problem is that that's the average speed. And, you know, this is a controversial move right here. The scholars will be debating selling the Dust of Seeing for EWA for centuries to come, but back to the story. The 65 megabits down, 35 up, that is the advertised speed. However, it's not the real speed, because the real speed is, get this, 10 megabits down, 0.4 megabits up. And it's, like, more expensive, so there's really no point. There really is no point at all. So, and that's every internet plan here. So the only foreseeable upgrade would be the Starlink, because that's literally the only thing that could get a more powerful internet here. And again, if it was permanent, yeah, I would spring for the Starlink, because yes, it's very expensive, but I need a reliable internet connection that is not throttled after an hour. So the fact of the matter is that this video is going to probably take maybe a day to upload, and this video is going to be like 20 minutes long-ish. So that's a little bit frightening for me personally. But, you know, that's why I'm recording this about 4 days in advance, so that, you know, this will have time to upload, and I can time it to see how long it will take an upload to actually work. And that's also going to mean that these videos are going to be cut down to like 20 minutes or less, because I don't even want to think about uploading like an 8 gigabyte video. Oh my god, that'd be terrifying. Because like a 10 megabit down is definitely workable. However, 0.4 megabit up, Jesus Christ. Like, this video is going to be like a couple gigabytes, and that's going to be pushing it. And the only way that I don't even, like, I'm actually worried about this video getting up in the first place. Like, I'm actually kind of paranoid about that, but again, that's why I'm doing it a few days in advance. And here's the thing, we're gonna be doing this weird sort of, like, soapbox while the game plays, until my package gets here. Because, you know, FedEx, they told me, oh, it'll be here 8 days ago. And now it's just pending. Now it's just pending. And I'm just sitting here, bro. And I'm hoping that every time I move or every time I, like, shift around a bit, that isn't coming up in the audio. But, you know, I'm gonna watch the whole video back, so hopefully it won't be that big of a deal. But I actually do have a funny story that, honestly, I had to stop myself from, like, laughing out loud in the taxi. So my journey was, for the most part, uneventful. There was this absolutely amazing moment in the airport where somebody got called to the front desk. Because, you know, they do that thing where it's like, John Smith, come to the front desk. Or like, Jane Doe, come to the front desk, right? If somebody has, like, details they need to get squared out before the flight starts boarding people. And so they call this guy's name. And I'm not going to say this guy's name, because obviously I don't want to, like, you know, put him on blast live on Shiokawa radio. But, so basically, the guy's name was the equivalent to if somebody was named, like, Charlie, like, okay, what's a good one? Like, Charlie Car Thief, or Theodore Thug. You know, it's like, imagine if somebody's real name was, like, Theodore Thug. It was so funny, right? Like, it was... I'm laughing about it, thinking about it, but that was probably the that was probably the best thing that happened. Is that, like, literally this guy, like, just literally imagine somebody's name is the equivalent to, like, Theodore Thug, or like Perry Plane Hijacker or something stupid like that. Like, just somebody's, like, normal name, and then their last name is just like, hey, I'm a criminal. It was so good. Like, everybody, like, this is a cliche to say, then everybody laughed in the public space. But no, like, once he was called, like, you heard, like, everybody next to me was just kind of, like, looking at each other, like, did they just say, was that guy's name? And then everybody just started chuckling. It was great. And I obviously, I have some more airport anecdotes, but this is the most important anecdote of all. Because it is the universe playing a cosmic joke on me personally. So, when I arrived in the UK and I was getting my taxi, so first of all, I got in the taxi, which was a hurdle in itself, because depending on what taxi you hire, you have to go to a different location, and so I went to the location for the wrong taxis. And it just so happens that my taxi specifically has to go to, like, halfway across the compound. And so, well, not halfway across the compound, but it's like you have the taxi area. You have taxi area 1, and then you have taxi area 2. And the airport takes you to taxi area 1. And then you have to, like, walk through, like, this beaten path of, like, to get to taxi area 2. But that's besides the point, right? So I get in the taxi, and we're driving down the road, and I'm getting taken to my destination, and we get to the place, and we're trying to get to, like, my specific destination, like, where I'm going to be staying, and I have to do a pause here for dramatic effect, because it truly is really funny. Like, for lack of a better word, it really is fucking funny. The roads were closed. We were driving, we made the turn. We made the turn, and there was just this big sign, and there was, like, a roadblock. And it was, like, this big sign that said, roads are closed due to construction. Or, roads are closed due to repair. And I had to stop myself from bursting out laughing in the taxi. I really had to. And so I eventually got there, obviously, but it it was just so funny. It was so good. Because it was like we turned the corner and then there's just a road blockade and there's just people working on the road and it says roads closed. I was like, you son of a... Oh, which one of you? Do I need to look in the ocean? Do I need to look in the stars? The freaking museum? The mirror? Where do I need to look? Where's the telescope left by my friend? Plus 3% doom. Oh my god. And so we drove like halfway across to the other side of the area, and then those roads were closed, of course. And so we had to drive all the way back around, but this time we had to take a turn before we got to the closed roads because they have a residential access area. And so we had to drive down there, and then we had to snake through like a bunch of barriers. And I was like, oh, that's, haha, very funny joke. Haha, funny meme. And so, you know, that's just perfect. You know, for a lot of reasons, that's just perfect. And, you know, it wasn't that big of a delay. It was probably like a 30-40 minute delay. So not a big deal at all when you've been traveling for like 20 hours without sleep. Yeah, no, overall, the travel experience was all right, you know. Nothing major happened. Right now, I'm just kind of going over the lighthouse again, because I didn't write it down when I was doing it. But thankfully, it's just 3 stat checks, Takahashi and the light source, which we don't have, because we have a katana, and we don't have a flashlight, but, you know, what are you really going to do about that? Somehow, we actually managed to get 4 funds, which is a little bit weird, but typically speaking, without the witch's tree, you're probably not going to have 4 funds, unless the RNG events make you get pretty lucky, or you get, like, you know, things that you can sell along the way. But with the katana, we were able to just kind of cut through all the bosses, and we didn't really have to worry about it too much. So overall, we didn't abuse flesh regrowth either. We used it once and then forgot it, which is kind of like the operative on how we like to do it. Because you use it once, and it doesn't heal you over, like, 11. Or at least sometimes it doesn't heal you over 11. And so you can kind of get away with that. But, and so you can kind of get away with just not abusing it, at least in my opinion. But anyways, thank you so much for watching. I'm going to make sure that this all works, and here are the achievements, 7 out of 62, 11.29% of achievements unlocked. We've got the glass eye, the monkey wrench, the thread of fate, and the cursed cartridges, the bone saw, I know that, and then, what's the infinity symbol down there? That's endless mode, fair enough. And then medical history backstory, of course. So anyways, thank you so much for watching. My name's been Webweaver, and I hope the audio's not too bad here. I have been shifting around a little bit. I'm also having to sit far away from the laptop because the fans are going, and I don't want you to hear that. But anyways, goodbye, have a good one, stay safe out there.